What's up? What's happening? What is going on, Cantaloupes? With the NFL season right around the corner, we're starting to hand out our predictions of who's going to win the MVP, Super Bowl, and all of that. But it's good to look at your history. Sometimes NFL players deserve to win an MVP award, but because of their position or just straight out getting snubbed, they don't win it. I'm Mike Cantalupo, or at least the ghost of Mike Cantalupo, and today we present the 10 biggest NFL MVP snubs ever. Roger Staubach in 1971. The 71 MVP was won by Alan Page, who was a Vikings defensive tackle. He was the first defensive player to ever win it, and especially at that tackle position, really impressive. But the Cowboys legend Roger Staubach probably deserved this one. He had over 1,800 yards, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He posted a 10-0 record as a quarterback, and he led the Cowboys to a championship. Sure, by today's standards, is 1,800 yards a lot of yards? No, but he only played 10 games, and it was a way different league back then. That being said, I'm partial to just giving it to a defensive tackle. Ed Reed, 2008. This was by far the best season in his career. He had 9 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, including one 107-yard pick six. He had 16 passes defended. He helped the Ravens go from 5 wins to 11 wins, so he made his team better. They reached the AFC Championship game. Peyton Manning ultimately won the MVP with 4,000 yards and 27 touchdowns. Now that's not even Peyton's nearly best career. Come on, give it to a safety. Todd Gurley, 2017. Yeah, great. Tom Brady won his MVP with 4,500 yards and 32 touchdowns. Yeah, I guess, the Patriots went 3-1 without him, so how valuable really is Tom Brady? Tom Brady? I don't know. Todd Gurley had 1,300 yards, 13 rushing touchdowns, also 64 catches and almost 800 yards and 6 touchdown receptions. It was a historic season and really a comeback season for him as well, and the Rams, who ended a 13-year playoff drought because partly of Gurley. George Blanda in 1961. I was just flat out infuriated about this back in 61. Paul Hornung, he won. He was a running back. George Blanda had an incredible season. 3,300 yards, 36 touchdowns. Those are unbelievable numbers in that era. Yet Hornung won the crown over him. That is the snub for the ages. J.J. Watt, 2014. One of the greatest defensive seasons ever, but defensive players usually don't win MVP. 20.5 sacks. He also had 3 touchdown receptions on the season, so he was an offensive player as well. 80-yard pick six. He had a fumble recovery for a touchdown, 5 total touchdowns on top of 20.5 sacks. The MVP did go to Aaron Rodgers, who had a great season, but Watt single-handedly led Houston to 9 wins, which the season before, they only had 2. Randall Cunningham, 1990. The award ended up going to Joe Montana. In this season, Montana had almost 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. Not really incredible numbers, to tell you the truth, but check out the stats of Eagles quarterback Randall Cunningham. 3,500 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Add, ready? 942 rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. Who would you rather have on your team that year? Love Joe Montana. I don't know how Randall Cunningham didn't win it that year. Eric Dickerson, 1983. The award ended up being won by Joe Theismann. Joe Theismann, 3,700 yards, 29 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. The Redskins won 14 games and were a historically dominant team. So in terms of value, I really think Eric Dickerson should have won it. The Rams running back had 1,800 rushing yards, 18 touchdowns. He added on to that 51 receptions for 404 yards and 2 touchdowns. And this was his rookie season. One of the best running back seasons ever, and he didn't get an MVP award to go with it. Drew Brees in 2009. Yeah, Peyton Manning won it again in 2009. He had 4,500 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 16 picks. But Brees had 4,388 yards, 34 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. Brees completed 70.6% of his passes, Manning 68.8%. Manning also had 57 more passing attempts. Brees would go on to beat Peyton Manning in Super Bowl 44, and he had the better statistical season. So why didn't he win it? Derrick Brooks, 2002, the Raiders. Quarterback Rich Gannon won the award this year. Almost 4,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 10 picks. But the Buccaneers outside linebacker, Derrick Brooks, probably should have had it. 117 combined tackles, 5 interceptions, 11 passes defended, 3 touchdowns, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble. The 2002 Buccaneers had one of the best defenses ever, and they destroyed Rich Gannon's Raiders in Super Bowl 37. Brooks won the Super Bowl, but an MVP would have been nice. Jerry Rice in 1987. The award went to John Elway, yet another quarterback. 3,200 yards, 19 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Those are mediocre numbers. Like Ryan Tannehill's had better seasons than that. Now listen to Jerry Rice's numbers. Drum roll, please. 65 catches. Okay, not that great. 1,078 yards. Okay, not that great. 22 touchdowns. What? That is a MVP-like caliber season if I've ever heard of one. At least he was ultimately named Offensive Player of the Year. So if you're the best offensive player, shouldn't you be the most valuable player too? Elway's numbers were not MVP caliber. Probably the biggest snub in NFL MVP history. What do you think is the biggest snub ever? Let me know in the comments below. Who's excited for football season? Raise your hand, and then raise your other hand, and then give me, can you put emojis on YouTube? Yeah, I think you can. What's that? Like the, you know, it's all about the you, but like not. Until next time, I'm Mike Cantalupo, or at least the ghost of him. Thank you for watching.